So, like I said, want to come back to online sports betting. So, as you know, sports are back, NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, all that. So, I know, Pate, you wrote an article on this already, and I know very well that it was very well received by the reader of that article, aka me. And but let's talk about it anyway. So currently there are 22 states and District of Columbia approved sports betting. About by the end of 2022, 34 states and will have some form of legalized sports betting, which accounts for about 57% of the population of the United States. Online casino styles betting is only legal in 6 states currently, which kind of sucks. I know y'all know, living in Texas, it's not even on the radar right now. We didn't even have it on any talks in the last. What am I trying to say, Pate?
So you're talking about that we don't have it on the ballot, which is very unfortunate, and it's unfortunate that our state legislature only meets biannually, so we have even less. We have to wait longer for initiatives to get on the ballot here.
Thank you.
And we're the second most populous state in the U.S. Not an ideal situation for getting it for our locale. But yeah, I think it's interesting how you're seeing it spread across more and more states because it is such a good source of it helps both sides. Now, obviously, gambling is an addictive activity, but so is drinking alcohol. So it's kind of apples to oranges when you're doing that comparison. But the state can win and the consumer can win if it's done in moderation and it's not a detriment to the actual gambler or the consumer. So that's why I think it can be a good relationship, and it can drive significant tax revenues at the same time for the state. That's the main interest that they have. Get licensing permits for specific operators to be able to operate within the confines of the state, but then also taxing the revenues that come from that. And then we all know, because we have all been gambling for years, I would really prefer not to be using Eastern European websites anymore and trusting my debit card or credit card information to do so. You know, I've had, I think, 2 fraudulent transactions on my cards throughout the years. And that's the only logical explanation of where they could have come from were those websites. So it would be really nice just from a more of a financial safety, but also a feeling of security from our side of knowing that my money is being kept in a U.S. entity that's subject to regulations and is less likely to get sold on the black market if there even is such a thing. Just sold as data and somebody trying to steal my identity. So that's kind of where I come down on it. Ryan, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that's going to come in the future as we just continue to expand technology around it. I mean, Barstool Sports is eventually going to come out with an app of some kind where you can place bets.
Or they come out with an app.
Yeah. So like Penn Gaming, they're launching their app in September for their online sports betting.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't really understand how pizza reviews can relate to getting, some traffic on your online sports betting, but I guess it works. I don't know.
I can. You put it in the same exact digital platform as you're watching pizza review videos, and you make it to where you can bet on the Calgary Flames that same night.
Are you saying Barstool has a good following? I don't know. I don't follow them. They're a competitor, dude. So
only is amusing to you.
You can't support them.
But yeah, I mean, you're about to see the best test case of bringing a digital betting app directly to the most probably ravenous fan base and loyal fan you can imagine, that is full on into sports betting and full on into sports itself. So,
well, them and then MGM apparently spent about $1 billion to upgrade their online or digital marketplace. That's apparently worth about, I want to say, like $700K, but they don't let their brick and mortars their financials be public, but just their online is worth roughly $700,000. So they're getting involved too.
Well, that and IAC just took a 12% stake in MGM specifically to make a play on and get a share of online sports betting being rolled out and legalized across the U.S. over the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, that sent MGM up like 12% that day.
Yeah.
So look for more of that. I mean, for me, the minute I can access an app and gamble, I'm going to be doing it.
So are y'all on online sports betting right now? I know, Pete, you said you are, or you were at least.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. There you go.
I was in the past.
What happened there, Ryan?
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that, Ryan.
So as I referred to it as the roller coaster of 2018 summer. So I placed $1,000 bet with part of my signing bonus on Bryce Harper to win the home run derby, which he did. And I won $3,000, so built that up to like 5,000. And then throughout the season, this was the year after the Astros had won the World Series and were basically unbeatable against crappy teams.
Stop.
Because they hit trash cans. But anyways, yeah, so I would place bets on them to score the first run of the game, to score the second run of the game, anytime they're about to come to bat, like through the live sports betting. And built that up to like 12,000. But then the sad part of this is I placed 3 large bets that they would sweep the Rangers, just winning game 1, 2, and 3 in a weekend series, thinking that I was going to double my money. But little to know, they got freaking swept by the Rangers, who were absolutely terrible that year. So that just goes to show you that never think you're safe out there with sports betting. You're going to lose eventually. But
In hindsight, I should have been wearing my Rangers hat for this episode.
yeah, now I will always hate the Rangers because they took all my money. But since then, I have not placed a sports bet because I've been to the bottom.
Now you just bet with options contracts instead. It's not the
Yeah, much safer, much smarter. Yeah, we'll get to that a little bit later too. All right. One other thing to mention here, there are two major SPACs, or one that's already gone through. Rush Street Interactive went public through SPAC very recently, and then Golden Nugget, their digital gambling is right behind them, probably around Q4. So December 31st is their deadline currently, unless they extended it all. And that's just their digital part. They're obviously still going to have their brick and mortars. And right now, if you're looking for that, Golden Nugget is under Lincadia Holdings for now until they merge. So not just big names like Penn and MGM. There's some other ones too coming down the pipe. I'm sure they're even smaller than Golden Nugget and Rush Interactive.
Yeah,
so
and
everyone wants a piece.
It's reasonable to expect you're going to see even more offerings come out from the bigger names like Las Vegas Sands and Caesars are not going to sit. These are casino companies.
Yeah.
They will find a way to get their cut. The house always wins.
Exactly.
So they will. Yeah. You expect incredible competition in this space, but I think the total addressable market, the pie is large enough to welcome a lot of players in it. It'll come down to differentiation. I think once you have a more saturated market of who's winning in the marketplace, because right now you have such a limited number of players in the U.S. and limited localities, but that's legal. But once that expanded, we know the demand's there. It's all going to come down to who has the best product at that point.
Yeah, I will say, like, whenever I was using Bovada, you basically, when you would cash out, you would get a DHL shipment, and you would have to sign for it each time that check would come in. And, like, who has time to do that during the day?
Yeah, I have yet to cash out, so I'm worried about that one. I'm about even on 3 years worth of gambling, so I don't do anything to move the needle though.
If there was a convenient way to, like, actually cash out and just have it go straight into your Venmo account or something.
Well, I think that's where the establishing more U.S. entities comes into play. We don't have to wait from, like you said, a check from the Deutschland to come in and sign for it, and then wait another 3 to 5 business days for your bank to make sure that's not a fraud.
Yeah, mine's allegedly in Argentina, so I'm not too confident in that one.